Hey vape fam. So last night I made a quick short little video. It was 1 in the morning. I was half asleep, but now I'm up. This video is going to be slightly longer, just a warning. And I kind of want to talk about the fact that Congress thinks that we're a bunch of bots. Well, Congress is saying that they think that we're a bunch of bots, that they're investigating us as a bunch of bots. I said in my video last night that my Twitter account is really very new. I think I've been at it for like a week. I don't like Twitter. I've never liked Twitter. But when all this stuff came about with the vaping issue, the epidemic, I found that advocating on Facebook just wasn't enough for me. Like, I didn't feel like I was being heard the way I wanted to be heard. I didn't feel like I was doing much of anything. A friend of mine said, look, Twitter is blowing up. If you want your story to be heard, if you want your message to get out, you gotta be on Twitter. So that's what I did, and that's why I'm here. Last night was the first time that I've shown my face, and it's not because I was trying to be mysterious or anonymous or anything like that. It was just the simple fact that I had made this account for a very, very specific purpose, and that's what I wanted to focus on. That's what I wanted people to see when they clicked on my profile. But now all of a sudden, we're a bunch of bots. And now I feel obligated to show my face. I feel obligated to speak out and tell my story. So here it is. When I was 15, I was a sophomore in high school. I was at a friend's house. We were drinking because kids drink. And one of the girls handed me a Marble Light. So I lit it. And I fully expected to choke and die, but I didn't. It actually went down really very smooth. And I felt cool. I did. Hey, look at me. I'm drinking and I'm smoking and I'm a grown-up at 15, right? And then I just never quit. A month later, I picked up a Newport, and that was all she wrote. The menthol hit the spot, and that was it. I smoked for 7 years. I had 3 severe cases of pneumonia. I had several cases of bronchitis, and I had more respiratory infections that I would even care to count. And I can remember being sick, particularly when I had pneumonia. I would be sick for such a long time. They would send me home with inhalers and a nebulizer, and I was taking steroids and antibiotics. And I remember being home, and I would take my inhaler like I was supposed to, but then I would pick up a cigarette. And I would do my breathing treatments like I was supposed to, but then I would pick up a cigarette. Why? Because I'm a smoker. Because I'm addicted. And I don't care how sick I am, I'm not gonna not smoke. I'm gonna smoke. Period. And so when I was sick, I was sick. And I was sick for a very long time. Fast forward, 2012. I'm out running errands. And I drive by this little spot that I drove by on a regular basis. And I had seen it, but I had never really looked at it. And one day I looked at it, and it was a vape shop. So I was curious, and I go inside, and I asked the guy, what's going on, what they're all about. At this point, vaping is still relatively new, and it's completely new to me. I know absolutely nothing about vaping. And the guy says, we're just trying to get people to quit smoking. We want people to still be able to get their nicotine. Cold turkey doesn't work. Gums and patches don't always work. This is a lot safer than smoking. And wait, before anybody says anything, I don't care what anybody has to say. Studies have shown that vaping is 95% less harmful than traditional combustible cigarettes. So if you don't want to hear that, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry. Anyway. So I come out with your very, very basic Kangertech EVOD pen style setup and a 30 ml bottle of juice, blueberry flavor, 24 milligrams, which is really, really very high. I now sub-ohm, and I'm on a 6, just throwing that out there. So I get this home, and I set it up, and I fill the tank, and I try it, and it's okay. It's all right. But making the switch for me was really, really hard. For the first month and a half, I was a dual user, meaning that I was smoking and vaping. I was smoking less, but I was still smoking. And so I go back to the vape shop, and I tell the guy, this isn't working for me. It must be me. What am I doing wrong? I must not be doing something right for this to not be working for me. And he says, well, what kind of cigarettes did you smoke? And I said, Newports. You need menthol. So he goes to the back room, because at this point in time, they're still making, their juice in-house. And he makes me another bottle of blueberry, 24 milligrams with menthol. Game changer for me. Complete game changer. I did still smoke, but within a week, maybe 2 weeks, I was vaping exclusively. Fast forward, October 5th, 2019, so just, what's today? I don't know, about a week ago. Makes 7 years for me. It's been 7 years since I've had a cigarette. And in those 7 years, I've not had one case of pneumonia. I've not had one case of bronchitis. I've not had anything worse than the common cold, which I get every year because I work in healthcare, so I'm around sick people, so I get sick. Just kind of comes with the job. And I can breathe. I don't smell like an ashtray. I consider myself a success story. And I know that my story isn't unique. It's not a unique story. Out of 13 million plus of us, I know that a lot of us share a very, very similar story. So my story is not unique, but it's mine. And I'm not going to let anybody take that away from me by telling me that it's just an anecdote. And I'm not going to let anybody take it from me by saying that, we're a bunch of bots. I'm not a bot. I'm a real person with a real story. We are all real people with real stories. So I encourage you to step out and tell your story and make yourself heard. Vape fam. Vape fam is making so much noise right now. Vape fam is so loud that we can't possibly be real. Think about that. We're bots. We have to be bots because we're rallying that hard. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Stay loud. They're hearing us.